Hey, shalom to the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone who teach the truth and rule well. This is the brother Yatabia Wa'ala coming back from the GMS SF Bay Area camp. And I got a quick lesson today. All right, Lord's will is edifying. But just going into salvation. All right. And we know, being of the hopeful elect, the only way out of this ultimate destruction, all right, this thermonuclear destruction over here in the land of America, okay, is salvation with chariots, okay, so-called UFOs, all right, with the world, or who the people ignorantly call the UFOs, all right. There's a reason why there's so many so-called UFO sightings, all over, especially here in America, all right. But hey, the so-called UFOs are the chariots of the angels. All right. And the chariots, all right, is what's going to be used for salvation of the elect. They're going to be beamed up simultaneously as this place is being destroyed. All right. The Lord is going to beam up the elect into those chariots, the vehicles of salvation. All right. Now, let me start with this is Isaiah. You know what? Let me just start from the top. 31:1. It says, "Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord." All right. And this is the majority of our people. Here it is. They trust in America. All right. Because it's big, bad America. They have the military. All right. They have all this technology. Okay. But trusting in America is the wrong way to go. All right. This place is going to be destroyed. All right. And what do? They don't seek the Holy One of Israel. They don't seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Here it is. You have the prophets, the men of the Lord, from the apostles and elders on down, preaching the truth, being the mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father. And our people are slapping the hand away. What do you think is going to happen? But they'll trust in Esau because they can see the power that Esau has. They trust in this system because they see the power that it has. All right? But again, that's going to lead to what? Their destruction. It says, yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Yeah, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to destroy this place. All right? He's going to destroy everyone in this place that's not of the elect. He's going to take Esau's power structure, all right, Esau's society, the power that he was given, he's going to take that away. Esau is going to be put into slavery. So here it is. You trust in America, all right? You trust in the big bad Edomite. Well, this Edomite, his power is leaving. So you're trusting in a sinking ship, okay? It says, "Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fall together." Yeah, here it is. America has this military. Has the fighter jets. All right, it even has nukes. It has all these missiles. Has all the different branches of the military. Okay, yeah, you can physically see them, but that's not going to do anything to help them from this utter destruction. All right, it's not going to do anything. But trusting in the Lord, what's that going to do? Well, if you're of the elect, it's going to lead to your salvation. All right. But what did it say? It said they shall all fall together. Hey, so what does it say? The wicked, though they join hand in hand, they shall both not go unpunished. Roughly paraphrasing. Actually, let me get that real quick. I believe it's in the Apocrypha. All right. Bear with me real quick. Yep. Actually, Proverbs. Let me jump over there real quick, and I'll jump back. This is Proverbs 11 and verse 21. It says, "Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered." All right, yeah, you want to, our people, okay, the majority of our people who want to be joined unto Esau, they want to be joined under the system. They're going to take the MOTB. They're going to trust in this total control, chaotic, dystopian future that Esau has envisioned. Okay, and you're not going to trust in the Heavenly Father. Well, what's it say? It says the wicked shall not be unpunished. All right, so you're gonna what? You're gonna be destroyed. It says, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. And who is that? The elect. Okay, starting with the elect. Yes, in the kingdom, all Israel will be saved, but it's gonna start from the second death. All right, this thermonuclear destruction is gonna start with the elect. Okay, now let me jump back. Isaiah 31:4, it says, for thus hath the Lord spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. Yeah, the Lord is not going to be tripping about these different nations. All right, Esau, their militaries rising up. All right, it talks about that in the Apocrypha, the war. All right, the war against these nations trying to fight Yahushua. It's called the war in heaven. Okay, which the Christians like to butcher that and think it's Satan and the fallen angels having a battle. And no, that's literally talking about the war between these nations and Yahushua. Okay, and the angels. But it's gonna be fast work. Because the technology that the chariots have, all right, that Yahushua has, that's thousands of years above what Esau has. If not hundreds of thousands, millions. All right? They can't compete. It's going to be a slaughter. Okay? It says, so shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof, as birds flying, okay, as birds flying in the air, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. All right, so if you can understand this, what is this going into? The chariots. All right, the so-called UFOs, the vehicles of salvation. This is how the Lord is going to deliver the elect. All right, now let me jump over here, because what does it call it? It calls it a strange salvation. Here it is. The elect are going to be beamed up. All right, literally so-called what do they say, like an alien abduction. All right, but it's not going to be an abduction. It's going to be a salvation. All right, but it's going to look like that. You're just going to see a whole bunch of Israelites being beamed up, all right, in a tractor beam into a chariot. Okay, Wisdom Solomon chapter 5 verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him and made no account of his labors. And that's what's going on right now. All right, you have the men of the Lord, all right, going out there on the highways and hedges, all right, standing in great boldness, proclaiming this truth, all right, against who? Esau, all right, going to the gate of the nobles, okay. This is what's going on as we speak right now. It says, they made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. And Esau is starting to have this fear right now. Esau's bugging out. All right, that's why what Revelation 12 chapter, he knows that he has but a short time. Okay? This word is cutting him. Hey, we're literally telling him what's going to happen. His whole society is going to be destroyed. He's going to be going into slavery. And after 1,000 years, he's about to be cut off. All right? But the pride, okay, just like, the Pharaoh in those times, okay, the Lord is hardening this man's heart. And he has the pride to think that he can upset prophecy. All right? But this is the point. It says, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for, because this is going to be an amazing salvation. All right? It says they're going to be amazed. It's a strange salvation. A whole bunch of people being beamed up into a so-called UFO. All right? And it says so far beyond all that they look for. Yeah, this isn't what they're going to be looking for. All right? They think that they're going to be able to rule. They think they're going to be able to, fulfill their agenda. All right? They think they're going to be able to partake in a dystopian, all right, nightmare. But what does it tell us in Job? In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. All right? When he is about to fill his belly, he's going into captivity. He's going to be destroyed. All right? It says, and it says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was we had sometimes in derision and proverb of reproach. Yeah, Jacob is the bottom of the barrel. All right. What do they say? Last hired, first fired. All right. They're in the ghettos. They're niggas, spics. All right. Tonto Indians. Okay. This is what Esau says. This is what all these nations say. We've been a reproach amongst all these nations. All right. But what? We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is among the saints? It's going to bug these people out. All right. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all Israelites, all right, who stem from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are known as the Israelite foreigners, who may look like the other nations, all right, but their seed goes back to the children of Israel, being an Israelite. And at this time, those who are chosen for the elect, those who are going to be beamed up. All right, so here it is. Esau, he wanted to count our lives madness. Lord's will would be of that number. He wanted to count the elect's lives madness, these Israelites, but these same Israelites are going to be beamed up. The righteous ones, the elect. All right. And again, what is it? It's a strange salvation. It's Isaiah 26:20. It says, come, my people, enter thou into my chambers and shut thy doors about thee, the chariots. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. Okay, and what indignation? This is that righteous anger. All right, but what does he have for that? He has a weapon of his indignation. Okay, those weapons of his indignation are what? This thermonuclear warheads, all right, which are on the top of these missiles, okay, which are going to be shot off from all these different nations who have nuclear capabilities to destroy America. All right, it says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, the chariots, and shut thy doors about thee, which is, hey, this is the new ark. Okay, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. As that nuclear destruction goes on, all right, the elect, this is how they're going to be saved. This is how they're going to be saved from this destruction. All right, we got people always coming up to us on the highways and hedges when we talk about these nukes, and they always want to know, what are we going to do? All right, why are you still here? Why are you in America? Well, we believe and we hope, this is the we know this is the only salvation out of this place. So we're hoping to get a ticket on that chariot. Okay, this is why we be diligent, to make our calling and election sure. We go out there to the highways and hedges. We push this warning to our people. All right, we get the blood off our hands, and Lord's will, we be that number to get saved, because that's the only way. All right. Revelation 18:4, it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partaker of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Okay, and how we coming out? Lord's will, we be that number. How the elect coming out? All right, ultimately, through that chariot. Okay, the chariot of salvation. All right. And last but not least, okay, it tells you the return of Yahushua. All right, it also tells about it, talks about it in Revelation, the 14th chapter. Okay, when the Lord is getting ready to destroy these people who trusted in Egypt, okay, took the MOTB, they're going to be destroyed. All right, in the presence of the Lamb and the holy angels. All right, what is that? The chariots, Yahushua coming back. But this is how it says he's going to return. This is Acts 1:9. It says, and when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. All right, what is this cloud? It's a chariot, so-called UFO. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, the two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. So this is how Yahushua is returning. All right, again, I mentioned it in Revelation, the 14th chapter. All right, but again, it also talks about it in the war in heaven, also in the Apocrypha. How these nations are going to try and attack Yahushua when he comes back. All right. But again, this is how Yahushua is coming back. This is how he's saving the elect. And Lord's will we be of that number. All right. This is the only way out. The only way out is up. Okay. But hey, Lord's will, this is edifying. Once again, I want to give honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rachak. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, and Habab Abal.